Prabhuji, can we start?
Yes, Prabhuji, you can start, Prabhuji.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji, for the introduction, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to serve to for the service. And first of all, I would like to take blessings of all the senior devotees, all the devotees who are present here in this group. And I am a toddler in Krishna consciousness, but it's an opportunity for a service. So just I'll render that service as nicely as possible. Um, and I can see many senior devotees in this meeting, like Sri Gaur Prabhuji and many other devotees. So I seek your blessing so that I can render this service nicely, and I can also progress in my Krishna consciousness. So my japa can improve through this service, and if it helps any other devotees, so then that will be a success. So. So I just noted down few points which we'll be discussing regarding japa. So first of all, this the japa is a very great opportunity every single day for all of us to. Uh, it's a service opportunity every single day, and Srila Prabhupada has instructed all of us to chant at least minimum 16 rounds every single day, and try to chant attentively as much as possible. But the first aspect which I was contemplating upon before even starting the japa is that which helps a lot in our chanting is expressing gratitude, because we are all assembled here today, and every day we are able to chant in the association of devotees, but that is only possible by the because of the contribution of so many devotees in our life. So many devotees have contributed in our lives, starting from our beginning days of Krishna consciousness. And even now, every single day, devotees are contributing in our life. So when we start our japa, before starting our japa, if we express our gratitude, if we try to just remember those devotees who have contributed, at least as much as possible, if we can remember, like for example, if in the starting of our days, when we were introduced to Krishna consciousness, and some devotees might have helped us in showing the path, right? And then some devotees might have helped us in, they might have given us prasad, or they might have invited us for some sessions. And also, uh, as we, when we came to Krishna consciousness, then many devotees are helping us, our counselors, our fellow devotees who are there with us wherever we are staying, and also our Shiksha Guru. And then if we are aspiring for from a spiritual master, if you're already initiated, then our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. So if we can express our gratitude, just remember all these personalities and their contribution in our lives, then our heart becomes really soft. That softens our heart, and it becomes a potent. The heart becomes potent to really chant the holy names of the Lord in a humble state of mind. And immediately we can see that whatever pride we may have, whatever uh, designations we may be associated with, everything goes away immediately, because we immediately realize that it's not my uh, qualification, but it's the contribution of so many devotees in my life, the mercy of so many devotees. So expression of gratitude is the first step which will really help in our japa, in our chanting every single day. And I was also trying to contemplate upon this today also, and then yesterday also, and whenever I get opportunity, as much as possible. So that really helps to create a fertile ground for the chanting. Now, when we do this and we start our chanting, then we need to be conscious that uh, now it's a time to chant. So let's keep aside everything, whatever we may have. We may have our office work, and if we have our families, so we may be having so many responsibilities towards our families. So uh, before starting our japa, we can prepare our mind that this is an opportunity where I just have to dedicate these 2 hours or whatever time I take for the chanting, for completion of chanting. Let me give my best. Let me keep aside everything else. Everything else, it may be whatever it may be. These 2 hours should be dedicated only for chanting. So preparing our mind is very, very important. Uh, because mind may take us to so many different things, and especially everybody will agree that whenever we sit for chanting, so many things will come in our minds, right, at that time itself during the chanting. So beforehand, only if we try to prepare our mind that now these 2 hours I'll fully dedicate only for chanting, nothing else. Right? And His Grace Bhurijan Prabhu also came recently to ISKCON Whitefield, and many of the devotees must have attended Prabhuji's sessions. So Prabhuji also mentioned, every time he mentions, whenever he comes, that whenever we chant, it's our personal time with Krishna. So so it's a dedicated opportunity for all of us to really uh, associate with Krishna at that time and nothing else, no one else. And I was just contemplating about this fact uh, that we are all parts and parcels of Krishna, as Krishna mentions in the Bhagavad Gita, Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Puta Sanatana, that every living entity is my part and parcel. So if somebody realizes this fact, at least theoretically in the starting, that I'm a part and parcel of Krishna, everything belongs to Krishna and everyone belongs to Krishna. So I also belong to Krishna. Right? This body belongs to Krishna. This mind belongs to Krishna. Nothing belongs to me. This mobile belongs to Krishna. Everything is Krishna's energy here. And I'm also Krishna's energy, right? The spiritual energy of Krishna. So I'm a part and parcel of Krishna. There is no doubt about it. At least theoretically, if we try to understand this, then the next question comes, then what should I do if I'm a part and parcel of Krishna? So my duty is to serve Krishna. That's the next point which should come up. As all our acharyas and the scriptures mention, that Jivera Swarup Hoy Krishna and Nityadas. So understanding that I am a part and parcel of Krishna and my duty is to serve Krishna, nothing else. There is no other thing which is there, should be there in my life. And my purpose of existence is to serve Krishna. That is a purpose for which I am existing. So, in that way, when we become conscious that this is a dedicated time, let me sit and chant. Let me just focus on hearing the holy names, become conscious and becoming alert and attentive. So that will really help in our chanting. And contemplating about this fact that it's a service opportunity. It's an instruction by Srila Prabhupada. It's an instruction by my counselor. It's an instruction by my spiritual master. So let me try to follow that instruction. I may not be having, talking about myself, I may not be having taste for chanting the holy names as of now, but definitely it's a service. It's an instruction by the acharyas. It's an instruction by my superiors. So let me try to follow the instruction as nicely as possible. Let me try my best to sit and try to chant clearly and hear the holy names clearly. Only two things I need to do. Only chant clearly as possible and try to hear the holy names as clearly as possible. Nothing else. No imagination, no other thing. So if I'm able to follow this instruction as much as possible, as nicely as possible, the mercy will flow. And definitely with that mercy, I'll be able to chant better and better and better. So in this way, I just noted down 3 points like this. Before starting our japa, if we can express gratitude to all the personalities, at least we can remember their faces. Like in the starting days of Krishna consciousness, how I got introduced. Who was that personality who introduced me? Who told me about Bhagavad Gita? Who told me about Krishna consciousness? Who gave me some few lectures to hear? Right. So I can just remember those personalities, and some devotees who might have helped me in different ways. So we can remember those few faces, and currently also where we are staying. So we can remember few faces who are contributing in our life, and our spiritual master, and finally Srila Prabhupada. So if you can remember these personalities, express our gratitude, say thank you from the heart, then our heart becomes potent. The fertile ground is set for the chanting. And then the second point we discussed is becoming conscious that now this is a dedicated time for me. to associate with Krishna and nothing else. Because I am a part and parcel of Krishna, my duty is to serve Krishna. Whatever temporary duties, responsibilities might be there with me right now, maintaining my family or earning a livelihood to maintain the family, or my job or maintaining the body, whatever it may be. These are all temporary responsibilities which we have because of the body which we have got. But my eternal duty is to serve Krishna. So let me try my best to do this service nicely. That the chanting of the holy names is the primary service which we have to do every single day, and everything depends on our chanting. So let me do this service very very nicely. So becoming conscious of this fact, and also contemplating about this fact that it's an instruction by the acharyas, by Srila Prabhupada, by my superiors, by my spiritual master. Everyone wants this, to chant clearly and to hear the holy names clearly. Everyone is saying the same thing. So let me try to follow that instruction. And when I'm able to follow that instruction nicely, definitely the mercy will flow. So we have discussed these 3 points: expressing gratitude to the personalities, becoming conscious and attentive. That is an opportunity to associate with Krishna, to do the service, and remembering that it's an instruction by the acharyas. So if we can remember these 3 points and try our best to attentively chant. Also, just one thing which I've observed is when we are chanting. So at that time, uh, it's very important to also regulate our lifestyle to improve our chanting. Because definitely, if I talk about myself, I'm not a pure devotee. So the body, if something happens to the body, something happens to the mind, it affects the chanting definitely. So if we can maintain mode of goodness, where we can have some practices in our life like cleanliness, or it can be regulated sleep cycle, and regulated diet. All these things, if we can maintain as much as possible, then these will help to maintain mode of goodness. And having enough proper sleep, that is also very very important. Sometimes we find that if we are not having proper sleep, we'll sleep during the chanting. So if you can have this, uh, you know uh, try to focus on these prerequisites which help us. These are the tools which help us in proper chanting. Then definitely we'll be able to chant better, and uh, also we'll be able to become more conscious and attentive during our chanting. And when we are attentive and we are trying to follow the instructions, definitely mercy will flow, and will progress in our japa also. Our japa will surely improve. And Krishna, one more point which I was just contemplating upon is, when we meditate on this point that it's a service opportunity, I am meant to serve Krishna. It's the purpose of my existence. Then many times we may think that I don't know whether Krishna is listening to me or not, whether Krishna is watching me or not. But actually, it's a fact that Krishna is always conscious of me, because Krishna is all conscious, because nothing is existing outside Krishna's purview. Everything is under Krishna's perfect control. And this shloka comes in Mundaka Upanishad, where it is nicely described that how Paramatma is always observing, always he's always conscious of the living entity. So there is never a moment where Krishna is missing us, missing uh, uh, observing us. He's always conscious of us. So when we try to endeavor a little bit, becoming attentive in our japa, becoming more conscious, having a service attitude towards Krishna, that yes, let me try to chant very nicely, having this mood, determination, then surely Krishna will recognize that. Krishna will surely acknowledge that. And Acharya, the Guru and Krishna both will acknowledge that. And surely the mercy will flow. So from our side, we just need to endeavor this much, that becoming conscious and trying to follow the instructions as much as possible, attentively hearing the holy names. So then definitely rest of the other things will follow. So I think I'll stop here. If any comments, any senior devotees and all other devotees, all the devotees have, they want to share something or add to this, they can also add. And if any questions are there, I can try my best to answer.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for such a wonderful talk. Yes, very enlightening points actually. So yeah. So when you say gratitude, right? So I always remember Shigor Prabhuji and our Satyanda Prabhuji. So they are the ones they introduced Krishna consciousness into our lives, and because of their mercy only we are able to progress. And yeah, so the way just by having their association, we get a lot of purification, and that helps us in doing the chanting nicely and progress well in Krishna consciousness. Yeah. Yeah, if you remember them, certainly, if you show gratitude, definitely the chanting will improve. Yeah. And you mentioned that 2 hours is a fixed time, and then we should not think about any other thing. Krishna will take care, and then, yeah. And so that, the dedicated time we have to allocate Krishna, Krishna will take care of us. So, yeah. Yeah, I have one question about this, Prabhuji. Though it's like, yes, we know this is what we have to do, but oftentimes I myself fail doing that. Let's say some material responsibilities are there that we have to take care, and we have to finish certain material thing in a given time, let's say by today or tomorrow. That keeps on coming in our mind. Oh, I have to complete that. So how to kind of isolate our mind from such distractions or thoughts, if you can help understand that. Yeah.
I'll try to answer from my with my capacity, whatever I can. I understand. So thank you for asking this question, Puri. So definitely, this is a very common thing which happens to everyone. I think all the devotees will agree that so many things will come to our mind that I have this thing to do, that thing to do, and immediately it will come during the chanting only. Before the chanting will be peaceful, but when we start chanting, then so many things will pop up in our mind that I have office work remaining, this deadline is there, I need to complete, or some family responsibility or some these things. So definitely, yes, this problem is very common. But what we can do is we can actually try our best to write down few things which I need to do throughout the day, and uh, we can try to remind ourselves that yes, these things I need to do definitely, and we can allocate some specific times to those activities. For example, if my office work is there, then I can try to allocate that particular time to my office work or my family responsibilities, and we can have this determination that this dedicated that time I have only for chanting. Let me do it nicely. I will do all my responsibilities nicely. So as Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also mentions that we need to beat our mind with shoes every single morning when we wake up, right? And when we go to bed. So this is required. We need to really, beat the mind and try to educate the mind like this, that, oh mind, definitely, I know this thing is very, very important. This particular activity is very, very important. But as of now, chanting is very, very important, and this activity, I'll do it nicely. I'll do my office work very nicely. I'll take care of my family responsibilities very, very nicely. I'll not compromise in that. There's no question of compromise. No, I'll do, because that's also service. Service, because all my family members are parts and parcels of Krishna. So definitely, this is my responsibility which is given to me by Krishna. So I need to take care of it very, very nicely. It's a service. It's a service to Krishna. There's no doubt about it. So I will do it very nicely. So we need to educate our mind like this. So little bit determination when we have, and we try to educate our mind, then definitely for some time at least the mind helps us in our chanting. And if for that particular time, if we are able to hear the holy names, will progress. So that's how I do sometimes, that I try to educate my mind with determination that definitely if I have to do this particular thing, I'll do it. Don't worry, mind. It's okay. It's okay. I'll do it nicely. I'll not compromise. Don't worry. And when we actually, when we get up from chanting and we have other responsibilities to do, then we actually do all the things nicely. Then mind will support in that way. And definitely, mind, it will pop up so many things at different times. But we need to keep on educating the mind, and abhyasena to kaunteya. So practice is the only thing, only way which will help us in our practice of Krishna consciousness. So practice and practice and practice.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I think what you said is like we have to plan the tasks ahead, write it on like some paper or Excel, and then put some date to it, and then since it is already there on the paper, we won't forget, definitely. And then we have to be like little determined to do certain things, and then we have to say to our mind, yes, this is a service, even though it's a material responsibility like family and other things. We have to say to the mind, yes, definitely I will finish it. It's a service, I have to do it. With that mindset, I think, yeah, if you do that, that calmness will come on our mind, and then it helps in chanting. Thanks, nicely summarized, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Any others have any other questions? Prabhuji's, Mataji's.
Thank you very much, Pranjay Prabhuji. Very nice. You spoke about how we can improve our chanting. Very, very salient points, actually.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Because if we have that mindset, that will really help us. And also that how we sometimes think, is Krishna really there? Is Krishna really around? But then you said that, yeah, he's definitely around us, and he's conscious. He's conscious of us, and we chant with that mindset that that he's also conscious of us. He's actually looking forward to us. It was really touching, and it reminded that how Prabhupada would always highlight that he's there as Paramatma, always with us. His Paramatma feature is a kind of an individual allocation of himself to take care of us. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for your comments and for your blessings. I'm very happy to hear from you after a long time. And
Same here.
so
You're very
it's
sincere.
I'm very, very grateful to you also for contribution in my life as well. Whenever it's gone Whitefield, and you're contributing so many devotees' lives, so it's always an inspiration to hear and to associate with you. Yes.
Bangalore congregation and the entire team has always been a source of inspiration for me, particularly. And the youth forum, the brahmacharis, Harishet Prabhu, everyone is so nice, very courteous, very dedicated, very sincere. So whenever I remember about Bangalore, somehow my spiritual life improves, and it has always been a source of high inspiration for me. So thank you all. And somehow, Pranjay Prabhu, with you, I had many interactions, and I always remember you as a very humble and sincere devotee. Thanks for continuing your services.
Thank you.
So there is a comment from Sudhakumar Mataji. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. It is very nice to hear from you, Prabhu. A very noteworthy point is to have a gratitude-filled heart before starting our japa. And then, as Prabhupada says, simply chant the mantra and clearly hear the mantra nicely. And the mercy will surely flow. Thank you for reinforcing this, Prabhu. It's so simple and effective. Thanks, Prabhu. It's really striking point. Yeah, to many devotees. Thank you. Rajalakshmi Mataji raised her hand. She has a question. Mataji, you can unmute and ask the question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams. So one thing I'm facing very frequently, it is like late night responsibilities like maybe office work or maybe children's exams or any. So it is like home household chores also. So sometimes it is like unavoidable, like not able to cope up with that. We have to thinking that mind is forcing like if we'll complete it now, then tomorrow it will be easy. So in that way, not able to so the morning chanting is actually getting impacted. So, Prabhuji, is there any way, like, though I'm trying my best, but sometimes it is like one out of Monday to Friday, if one day it's gone, then whole week it is getting disturbed actually. So, is there any tips, Prabhuji, on that?
Yeah, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji, for asking this question. Uh, Definitely, I'm not very experienced. Maybe other senior Grasta devotees can enlighten on this point more nicely. But yes, I'll try my best to share whatever I can from my side. So Mataji, like always like my spiritual master, His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj, he also focuses on this point that like if we have some responsibilities towards our family, like for example, Matajis when they have small children, and a lot of care, love and lot of care has to be taken at that time, and it is very crucial at that point that if that point that the care has to be taken and very nicely for the children, so that cannot be ignored. It cannot be ignored at all. Definitely if some other household works we can manage here and there, and then try to manage those activities as I mentioned earlier. We can, if we can manage a little bit here and then, that's okay. But when it comes to maintaining the children, especially when they are small, so at that time, that's a very crucial, and it's a service. It's also a service. It's not out of Krishna consciousness. So we cannot ignore that. So definitely, many times I have also seen, the many devotees that late night the children will wake up, and then some health issues happen. So the mothers have to take care, the fathers have to take care. They have to wake up, their sleep will be disturbed. So definitely, that in that particular time, it becomes difficult to wake up in the morning or to complete the rounds in the morning only. So that's not a problem. At least in the starting days when the children are small, that care has to be given. That care has to be given. But when children grow up slowly, then when they become more responsible, then at least parents get more time to focus on their at least complete the chanting in the morning. They'll get more time. But in the starting days, it becomes difficult. Definitely, it's very practical. Also, we cannot ignore that. So that cannot be ignored, Mataji. And so what we can do is, even though we may be sleeping late because of some responsibilities, but we can try our best whenever we get time to chant after completing the household activities or taking care of the children or whatever. So at that time we should be attentive. Then we should not be thinking about the household activities or any other responsibility. Let's say if we are able to chant after sending the school to the children, or the or Prabhuji goes to the office, and then now and some other activities which we may be having. So after completing those, if we have little time to chant, then at that time, although I may not be able to complete it in one go, that's okay. But whatever time I get, let's say half an hour, 1 hour, that time we should have this determination that this time I should dedicate to chanting now. Now, no other activity should be planned at this time. So that time at least we can be attentive. It can be any number of rounds. It can be 4 rounds, 8 rounds, practically for whatever it may be possible. At that time, we should just dedicate that time to Krishna and then to chanting, nothing else. So in that way, when we have this clarity that now I've completed my household activities, but now this half an hour, this 1 hour, whatever I'm having right now, let me try to chant attentively as nicely as possible. So with this determination, although it may not be in the morning, in the starting days after the devotees get married. Recently, my sister also got married. I can understand it's very difficult in the starting days after the marriage to dedicate time, for chanting in the morning, and especially when children are born, that becomes very difficult. It's very practical. But whatever time of the day we are having a particular slot for the chanting, whenever we get time, so at that time we should have this determination that now let me chant nicely. And because some other responsibilities will come up definitely in the future throughout the day, but now this half an hour, this 1 hour, let me try to chant. It may not be continuous 2 hours, 16 rounds in one go, but obviously, if let's say 8 rounds at this time and 8 rounds at some other time, but it's okay. But this 8 rounds should be as nice as possible. So with that determination, if we chant, that will also help.
Sure, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It really helped. Because of the frustration, sometimes we are thinking that I'm thinking that, oh, I lost the time now. How I'll do? I will handle. But yeah, it will help, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you.
And
Some other devotees can also add, because I'm not having that experience, but other senior Gresta devotees can also add to that, so that it will be more practical. And
No, Pranjay Prabhuji, I think so. You really answered it very well, and it is not that you have to go through something to to speak about that. You have enough experience by hearing about these things. The only thing I can share from my own experience is that this kind of frustration, is actually very positive and productive in one sense, that if you live through those, days, months, and years of frustration, of hankering, that I'm not able to chant because of this, I'm not able to hear daily Bhagavatam class in association of devotees in the temple because I have office work, because I have this and that. One day when you get that opportunity, you will really put in 100%. And that day onwards, when Krishna will arrange situations, circumstances in a way where you have time, now things are taken care of, everyone is on their own, then from then on, you will really relish that. So you should hanker for that. And today, whatever situation we are in, we should try our best. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. And Pranam.
If there are no other questions, we can end the session. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, Pranjay Prabhuji. Bhakta Pranjay Prabhuji ki jai.
Thank you
Yeah,
very much,
yeah.
Pandit Bhai.
Dandavat
Dandavat
pranam.
pranam. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Dandavat pranam, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Dandavat pranam.
Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Dandavat pranam.